Hello everybody! We have some interesting information towards the Beyblade Burst GT Anime. I will be giving a breakdown on it, giving my own thoughts and trying to analyze whatever information that we have and go from there. So it's going to be super interesting for all the little tidbits that we know right now. So basically the TV guide for the anime, we have it now, and it basically goes over everything up until the first episode in January. So I'll leave links in the description for any credit that needs to be given. I'll just be linking the WGL link and I guess the channel. But going over this right now, just to actually get it. So obviously we know that next, this Friday, right? As of this recording of the video, it's going to be 37 with Dragon versus Genesis. Now, guess what happens? Now my idea is there's probably going to be some training with Drum. Drum's going to be going through press because we saw that in the preview. And then after, in the end, it's going to end with a cliffhanger between Genesis Regalia, Regalia Genesis and Imperial Dragon. Now the next episode is so very interesting, which kind of confirms a thought I've been having for a while. So if you don't know, Green has only ever had one battle, not counting this one, not counting anything that's happening later on. He only ever went up against Joker and beat it with Superior Turbo. Now get this. For the following episode, Aurora Superior Turbo, Dragon will break. After calculating Genesis' impact, Green declares that Dragon will break with a burst. Drum is happy with Green's rapid growth, but also feels scared at his strength. When Dragon fights with Gold Turbo as calculated, Genesis fights back with Superior Turbo, and in the middle of their back and forth attacks, Green shouts out and Genesis erupts in the stadium with a bright light. Now this could be what I was thinking about before, because if you don't know, the avatar of Genesis is like a weird little egg thing, so maybe that egg's going to open and activate, and Green's potential is going to keep on growing. But what's so very interesting, before we cover the rest of it, is two things. The first thing is Green's potential, because Green only ever actually did one battle, and that was in the anime to be specific, only ever did one battle and won, and used the technique to destroy Joker in a, well, not, when I say destroy, okay, defeats Joker in a burst finish. And that was his first battle. You would think that with the experience that Joe has, he would have been able to beat Green. That means that Green's potential is growing at such an increasing rate that I really do think, now this part is not confirmed, obviously, but I really do think that Regalia Genesis will get some sort of evolution and will be the final boss. Regalia Genesis is a defense type Bey, right? Green's potential is on an incredible rise, and he keeps on growing. His power will keep on rising and rising. And if you think about it, with how he's calculating everything, he'll probably think of maybe some sort of, maybe he thinks of like an equation to where he can seek even more power and become the strongest blader to ever exist. And don't forget that in the manga, an important moment happened, and like I've been saying with the manga and the anime are two different continuities. Meaning, just because one thing happened in the anime doesn't mean it'll happen in the manga. It's because one thing happens in the manga, you get it vice versa. But there are key moments that happen, like Diabolos and Dragon breaking in the manga, right? In the anime, it was first Dragon, then it was Diabolos. So, now going over what happens in the manga, it is Green versus Amane. Now in this matchup, basically what happens is that Regalia Genesis is able to show off its true power. And Green does the usual thing, so when Amane goes after Green obviously does the thing he always does. He analyzes the base, sees all the equations on the thing, he sees all the writing on it, right? And then after, he's able to make a good calculation with his Bane, see what he's able to do. Very similar to what's happening in the anime when he's looking at drums, seeing what's possible. So then after, Queen attacks Ashura, and guess what happens? Breaks Ashura. Ashura breaks, Dragon breaks, meaning Queen has probably some sort of plot point where he's going to battle with Regalia Genesis, and he's going to do calculations, and those calculations are what's going to lead to breaking that bay. So now going back to what I was saying from before with the final boss thing, this is a leaked render for Gwen. This was on actually the US site for Rise, on like the thing. And when you do digging, you're actually able to find this render. And if you think about it, Gwen, as we've seen, is very calm and everything. But then after one render where his hair is all crazy and it looks so evil, this could be Gwen after maybe his Bay evolved, or something's gonna happen to Gwen to where his potential develops so much that he develops this like personality. Because, you know, whenever we see Gwen, he feels like a little, I don't know, it like kind of feels like an introvert of a character. And maybe something will set him off. Maybe he'll start seeing more equations and then after change. Because these key plot points are super important to understand when it comes to Beyblade Burst. And we gotta like to, you know, consider everything. So moving on. Right, moving on. The following week after that, which is the 27th of December, Revive Diabolos! Now, it does not mean literally, the name is not Revive Diabolos, it is Revive, Diabolos. Wanna make sure we get that clear? Is Revive Diabolos the name? No. Just Revive, Diabolos. But that means the 27th is when Diabolos' debut episode is gonna be, which, to be honest, makes sense considering, what is it, like the 26th is when the Diabolos comes out along with the random booster, right? So that'll be interesting to see. And moving forward from that, Shine Master Smash on January 3rd. So now we're gonna go into this part where I'm gonna speculate. Now, could the new Diabolos potential name be Master Diabolos? Because it's Shine Master Smash. Now, it's not like phrased in the way where it's like Shine defeat the master or something like that, right? Because I was thinking, you know, like maybe a common conclusion that anyone can make is that maybe Delta goes up against Volt at BC Seoul. But Shine Master Smash, you know, doesn't really sound like it make any sense. Now, obviously, it could definitely not be. First of all, we don't know what the name is at all as of this recording. Could be Master, could not. It could just be a technique that he has. Maybe he has a technique like, you know, like how Shining Cross, like obviously it's not called Shining Diabolos, but it's a technique called Shining Cross. So, I don't know, Master Diabolos, probably Master Smash will be some technique where maybe he activates his driver's ability and it goes in hand with the Bay, and then after he defeats it. But my predictions going forward. So, with everything considered, will probably happen is, first of all, I don't even know if Gwen I don't know if, I feel like Gwen's right now is sort of like just in the hero side right now, but maybe Gwen will start to develop to be sort of maybe like an anti-hero, maybe then after he's the antagonist, right? I don't know. It's really hard to tell. I feel like Gwen's going to slowly develop to be the final boss, because a lot of people, and no, this is not a theory that I made, there's a dumb theory, not a dumb theory, nah, I would say it's a dumb theory, because there's no real like support to it or weight to it. Basically saying, oh, Mana is going to be the final boss because, oh, the guides, the original summary for Beyblade Burst GT is going to focus on Delta, Drum, and Amane. And Amane is a defense type. Well, I think the most logical thing is going to be, you know, if the dude who broke Ashura and broke Dragon is a defense type Bay, and there's a leaked render of him where it is completely different from how he normally looks in like some sort of different form or state, it won't really make sense that Genesis would have to be the final boss. Now, obviously, could be right, could be wrong, we don't know 100%. I think Genesis being the final boss is the most plausible thing. I don't think it makes any sense for Ashura to be the final boss. Like, the only way I could have said, yeah, I could see Ashura being that defense type Bay, is if it literally was not called final boss. Because you know, for a final boss scene, that's like stuff like for like Phoenix and stuff like that. Like Phoenix was like the final boss for Aiga in Cho Z. Like, yes, his last battle was against Volt, but his final obstacle was going up against this evil person with a defense type Mei. No. It's gonna be interesting how it's gonna be going on forward. For Delta's thing, I do think maybe, I think it could be because I saw, I remember Volt was like comforting Delta, so maybe Volt will help Delta make his new Bay, potentially. And maybe then after he challenges Volt, and there'll be Diabolos versus Slash Valkyrie, maybe? Or who knows? If anything, and it's not against it's not Delta versus Volt, I think 100% Delta versus Drum, and then after following, you'll probably be like how Aiga got revenge against Heart, so then after it'll be Delta versus Arthur, maybe? It really just depends how it goes from here. I am excited to see where Beyblade Burst goes from here. Mostly just because the story is getting genuinely interesting. Like, the start of it was kind of slow. Very slow pace. I do hope we still see character. I'm still hoping, at least for the anime, I really want to see Aiga come back. I really want to, because Aiga is an introduced character now as Union Achilles, and he never got a proper match with Delta, so please. I still want to see characters like maybe like Loden, like we saw Blind, whatever. You know, he was there, like he did appear recently, so did Joe, but you know, we need some love to Longinus too, but I don't know. You can tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. Now, again, I do understand the whole thing with Burst and how they do the little breaking base thing, but just so we're clear, right? Just because Dragon is gonna break does not mean Dragon's gonna get another evolution on top. That is very silly. It's like, you know, remember when Chozi's friggin' broke the dead Phoenix, and then after it was just repaired in the next episode? That's probably what's gonna happen, if anything. But yeah, you know, that's kind of it. You know, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and you know, thank you for watching. Make sure you check the links to the description below. Now, the information I got from this was on the WBO, from the WBO user. I'll leave links to everything in the description below, and thank you for watching, and have an awesome and amazing day.